pre-show before the free show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. I'm Greg. That's Ashley. One of the problems with this building, Pickle, have you noticed a security issue?
Yeah, they just let anybody in here.
Including
Bam!
the head coach of the Wichita Falls Coyotes.
Texan Live's very own.
The Texan Live's very own, the athletic director of Wichita Falls ISD, and the father of Dub the Coyote. We're joined by Grant Freeman.
I thought the free show meant that Coach Free was here. I didn't know.
This is the free show.
There we go.
That's right.
This is literal today.
This is the pre-show of the free show.
We need our own theme music. We need big segments.
Well, I mean, you're about to be a lot less busy
because
you've got 2 jobs at the moment,
yeah.
And then you're gonna be downsized to 1.
I feel like the old In Living Color schedule. How many jobs you got? I got 7 jobs.
You got You're the head coach of the Wichita Falls Coyotes and the Wichita Falls ISD athletic director.
Yeah.
So you got last week had to have been one of the most surreal weeks of your career, yes?
It was the craziest week of my career for sure. We had the very last Wichita Falls High School Rider game and 15,000+ people filled Memorial Stadium.
It looked incredible.
It was awesome. Had a flyby. I got to talk to the Pentagon. I told you we had to fill out stuff with the Pentagon to have a flyover. I requested access codes to nukes. It didn't. I got a whole lot of stuff that was redacted back. I don't know what happened.
A lot of red lines on the contract.
A lot of red lines on the contract.
Just start asking about UFOs. There's like, no.
Area 51. I put in a lot of requests. Yeah. Since I've got you here, let me go ahead and
I have a couple questions.
It was great, man. It was, I've never seen anything like that other than the state championship game. I've never seen anything like that on a campus or anything like that. And it was just special for our kids, special for our community. It was outstanding.
Ryder gets the win.
Yeah.
I mentioned that. I will say, we were talking before we came on. Ryder looks pretty good. They lost some star power, but they looked the part. And I am not worried about the Coyotes. I'm not hitting the panic button.
No, we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. Travel to Hereford this week. We'll get back on track real quickly.
We are live on the air worldwide. If you want to just talk a lot of mess about Hereford,
I'm not doing that. I love Coach Snarin. I love that big, huge bull that's in the end zone down there.
It is excellent.
Or bull or Hereford, whatever it is. And I love the smell of going out to deep West Texas.
Yeah, because you're a San Angelo guy.
Yeah.
You're a Concho Valley guy. We were talking on the pre-roll. We had the San Angelo Stadium, and you were talking about how you were running around those stands with your county seat backpack.
Yeah, that's right. My Gerbeau jeans, my Massimo shirt, and my county seat backpack. And my Doc Martens on.
Oh, man.
Little 7th grade Coach Free was ready to roll, baby.
Just looking.
I have a feeling
like
with how tall you are, the Docs probably weighed more than you did
They
back
did.
then.
That's why we all have good back posture now, because we were carrying around 40 pounds of Doc Martens.
That's why you guys all stand
our
up.
team.
So heavy.
That's why you guys all stand up
awesome.
straight. Now you just swung by. You just decided to hang out with us here, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and we appreciate that. So now, how is the work-life balance going for you with 2 jobs, including running the whole stinking athletic department there at Wichita Falls ISD, and also, by the way, trying to get back to a regional final or more like you guys did last year?
Yeah, it's so you Google calendars, great thing, but I spend my mornings trying to do district stuff. Kind of lunchtime's kind of my break time, or I change hats. And literally change clothes and head over to Old High, and we get ready for football practice, what we got for the day, meetings and different things like that. I have a really good staff on both sides. I have a really good football staff. I have a really good support staff at the athletic department, and so I'm still, just trying to swim against the current. But with that, I get to do a lot of really cool things, be around a lot more people and lots more kids, and so it's been a lot of fun.
I do want to confront you live on the air about this.
I'm excited.
Pickle and I have been steadfast in this. That if you don't know, Wichita Falls ISD closing all 3 high schools, opening 2 brand new beautiful high schools next year, consolidating into 2 schools. Let's talk about the names of these high schools.
Okay.
It's Memorial High School and it's Legacy High School.
Yes.
Is there a reason behind that?
Free. We couldn't. We couldn't have had
There's got to be a reason.
like Freeman. Like what about Wichita Falls Freeman?
So we can go down that road. So let me say first off,
Wichita Falls
disclaimer:
Pickle.
I was not in the naming committee. However, just so you know, this is coming from when there was one high school. It was Wichita Falls High School, pretty easy to name.
Yes.
Then when we opened Ryder High School, we named it after the principal at Wichita Falls High School at that time. It was S.H. Ryder was the principal at Wichita Falls High School.
It's a great name.
Very easy.
Great name.
So I do feel like there could have been a coach-free
I'm telling
high
you.
school.
We've already got the free show
the
going
coach-free
here.
Dubs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know that Dub's ready for that. He's not ready for his own marketing. His own logo.
Well, I don't know. We've tried to get with his people, and I'm telling you, he's lawyered
He
up.
He is lawyered up. He's very. In fact, I think I said this. People were asking for Dub last week, wondering. They were trying to fly Dub flags in the stands, and I just said no. He's all of the attention got to his head. He is grounded currently. We'll see how he acts this week and see if he can come back out to play.
Yeah, because
I was gonna ask, what's the timetable on allowing Dub out of
what's a
grounding?
suspension look like?
Well, it depends. Again, it's one of those indefinite. The David Stern indefinite. So again, he's done some of his homework. He's done well. He's negotiated well.
You feel like
we'll see.
we're moving in the right direction towards reinstatement.
We are. He's got to go through a couple of classes. Some rehab.
As you do.
And then,
As you do.
We'll see.
If and when we get Dub flags, though.
If we get
Oh
Dub
my
flags,
God,
there's one
yes.
going in the studio.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
no
Yes.
doubt about
There's one
that.
going in the studio.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Dub got real crazy towards the end of last year, especially in the playoff run. Like people
I
were
know.
sending me. I think I sent y'all pictures. People were sending me shirts, koozies. I mean, it was so wild. Like there was Dub stuff everywhere. They were trying to make hats of him. Like
And
it was something that Pickle made me do.
And this is the thing.
Listen.
This is the retirement tour for Dub.
I know.
We talk about closing Old High, and obviously, it's the history there is amazing.
Yeah.
Part of that history is
Yeah,
Dub the Coyote.
Yeah.
And a bad part of that history, unfortunately.
I don't know. Kind of
I'm
feels
gonna
like
disagree with that. If there, we might not do many good things here, but if there's one good thing that we've done in our tenure at Dave Campbell's, it's making sure that Dub got put on notice.
Yeah, I was really upset that I couldn't make it to coaching school this year because that was the birthplace of Dub was last year's coaching school.
but we'll never do any better.
No,
that's
and,
the thing.
And people have asked, can you draw that again for me? I can't. I'm so bad, I can't even replicate that. Like that is a one-time thing.
And
that
this
that
is
happened.
why we put it on video.
It was
people.
a little bit of magic.
There's
there, a
no
little
way
bit of
that I can
magic.
ever do that again.
Yeah, sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time, and
Lightning strikes.
And lightning strikes.
Yeah.
It's Grant Freeman, the Wichita Falls ISD athletic director and head coach of the Wichita Falls Coyotes. Big game this week. You guys are on the road.
Yeah.
At Hereford.
Take the trek, the Oregon Trail across, 4.5-hour trip. Excited to just be in game 2. We're still learning what kind of team we have. I don't think you can put it to some brand new starters and some freshmen and sophomores they're plugging in some spots, and you say, hey, guess what? 16,000 people and a flyover and a really good opponent. So we'll continue to grow as a team, but taking their first trip, long trip out. So we'll see how that goes as well.
Thanks for joining us on the free show.
I'm excited, man. A free show. Now I'll have more time, so you never know. I might pop in more often.
Well, Texan Live, we are
Yes.
in need of broadcasters.
I do know how to do that. We've done it before.
We have.
Let's run
Thanks,
it back.
dude.
Thanks to you.
Hit the theme expo. Pickle! Hit the arrow sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a program with internet access. My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, texasfootball.com, and corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, other outlets, or you'll listen to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local, mediocre internet show. I am sitting in this chair, sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's the executive producer. She's the Duchess of the Dorks. She's Miss 305. She's Ashley Pickle.
Howdy, friends.
Hi.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Do you have a feeling quite yet on what your workload looks like on a week-to-week basis, like when it peaks and when it troughs?
I'm getting there. Give me one more week.
I'm
still trying to do this whole create a show thing.
Because my Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays are nuts, and then Wednesdays when I come up for air, and I'm like,
yes.
Okay. Now part of that, yeah.
I think that's looking to be the case.
Mm-hmm. Might be.
Wednesdays are for air.
One person who never quits, stays on his grind constantly.
Grab.
The director of recruiting of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Greg Powers.
It's Crootin time all the time.
I'm looking at my watch, and it just says Crootin o'clock.
Yeah, Crootin o'clock.
Crootin o'clock. Today.
Speaking of ideas for a shirt.
Crootin o'clock. Today is Wednesday, August 30th, 2023. I want to say it's 81 days to Thanksgiving? 85 days to Thanksgiving. I got aggressive there. Happy birthday to oh my God, it's terrible. I don't know. It's Cameron Diaz's birthday. She's 51.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
51. We live in a world where Cameron Diaz is 51.
She was really good. Did y'all ever see The Other Woman?
Mm-mm.
It's a newer kind of Cameron Diaz movie. Really good. It's very
I thought Cameron Diaz had retired.
Yeah, I didn't know there were new Cameron Diaz movies.
Yeah, I think Kate Upton's in it too. It's a good movie for a lot of different reasons.
What's your standard of new?
Let me look at when it came out.
Okay.
Save that.
It's definitely a latter half of her career Cameron Diaz movie.
She just ended her career early, is what I feel like.
She burned real hot
there
and
was
fast
some,
at the beginning.
Well, I think there's
Oh wow, it
stuff
came out in
there.
2014. That's older than I thought that it was.
That's older than you thought it was, or you're older than you thought you were?
True.
All of the above.
Tough, but fair. It's episode 1639. On today's show, folks, it's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, talking about the latest and greatest in the world of recruiting across the state of Texas. In the back half of the show, Powers caught up with a 6'8", 380-pound young man, DeSoto offensive lineman Byron Washington.
Big baby.
Is that what they call him?
Yep.
Big Baby. So we had Big
That
Bubba
rules.
at South Oak Cliff, and
Yep.
now we got Big Baby. Maybe he can be your new friend.
Yes, correct.
Pickle's favorite players are the enormous offensive linemen.
I have a picture with Big Bubba before Big Bubba was nationally known as Big Bubba, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah,
I'm going to call him the mountain who blocks.
I think he's actually the only high school football player I've ever taken a picture with.
Then what was Bryce Foster?
He was the mountain.
He was just the mountain. This is the mountain who blocks.
And Greb is our mountain.
In your arm, it's a whole thing. Welcome into our dumb show. Let's get into it. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
in Crootin.
So loud.
Correct.
This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScouts. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. A moment to acknowledge their gravy. Their gravy. I don't know how they do it.
It's delicious.
I don't know how they do it.
It's always the perfect temperature of hot, too. You never really have to worry about burning your mouth on it, which is nice.
It's always very warm, but not so not hot.
And stays warm because she's thick.
She's thick with two C's.
It's like they had a team of chefs that came together and said, what's going to complement this biscuit and roll perfectly?
Yeah.
What type of this is the type of gravy you need.
It is. I know I've told you guys this before. You guys did convert me from biscuit to roll. I'm fully rolling.
Let's
Okay,
go.
sweet.
The roll.
One down. Mallory's next.
To be clear, biscuit still great.
Yeah.
This is not a knock on the biscuit.
But you can't beat
That
the
roll.
Yeah,
Well,
Mallory's next up.
It's tough.
Good, because I had biscuit in there just to appease you. You know what I mean? Just
No,
to make you
can-
happy.
can-
I'd still say
it's
biscuit because I
fine.
would
You
have just
can-
went straight
We
roll.
can talk about the roll. It's fine. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Let's start things off with our, what's the first one?
Prospect on the rise.
Prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise. We're just going to DFW to talk about Lovejoy 2024 wide receiver Parker Livingstone, who was fabulous in their season opening win over College Station. He's the number 46 prospect in the DCTF Rising Hot 100. Committed to Texas, is this correct?
Yes.
And he is already in week 1, 12 catches, 252 yards, 3 touchdowns. And do I have this right? Did he throw a touchdown pass?
He did, and you'll see here that he had a 99-yard kickoff return called back for a penalty. So that was
So it could've
touchdown
been even
number
bigger.
5 was a 99-yard kickoff return called by. And I watched that clip a couple times. I didn't see the penalty, so it wasn't like an egregious.
Okay. So it wasn't. He didn't take it back 99 yards because of the penalty.
Yeah, I didn't see like, oh well, there's the hold that sprung him.
Was that his throw? That is a dime.
Yeah, he's dropping.
Oh my gosh.
So Parker Livingstone is. He's going to be a guy to watch. I mean, Lovejoy is in the state championship hunt. They came out of the gate strong with the big win over College Station. That was a tough first matchup. Of course, College Station was in AT&T Stadium last year competing for a state title. Parker Livingstone is really getting his chance to shine in this offense, which has really kind of become like wide receiver. I guess it's not you, but WRHS.
Yeah.
In Lovejoy, because they had a couple of really talented guys who went on to play in college last year, and Kyle Parker and Jackson Lavender, and now Parker Livingstone is like the guy, but there's a couple other guys within that offense like Dalen McCutcheon, who he threw the touchdown pass to, and Jalen Lott, an up-and-coming class of 2026 rising star to keep your eye on. But Parker Livingstone, I think, is going to be like the focal point of this offense, and you saw that this week. 252 yards was almost one-third of his total production last season. He had just over 900 yards last year.
He feasted in week 1 and looked like the kind of guy that Texas is very happy to have in their class of 2024. Parker Livingstone, our prospect on the rise. Let's go to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, we're going to Denton Geyer to talk about their senior cornerback Eli Bowen, who committed this week to Oklahoma over Texas. This is a perfect example of a guy who is very technically a 3-star.
Yeah.
He's number 56, and like the top 50 are 41 or 46 through 50 are 4 stars. I got that.
It's such a pain too what you're describing, because I get to number 35 and like from 35 to 70, I'm moving these pieces around within this top 100. Eli Bowen has been a guy who I've like, how can I make Eli Bowen 4 stars? How do I get Eli Bowen to his 4th-star status?
This is where you having principles is such a problem for us, because like he's a 4-star talent.
Yeah.
He just happens, because of the way that we rank prospects, he happens to be a 3-star. But this guy committed to Oklahoma over Texas. It's a big win for the Sooners. Although you have to imagine that his brother Peyton was acting as a little bit of a closer.
Yeah, and Peyton, as you guys can recall from last season, is a guy who played his recruitment out to the very end of the early signing period. Had committed to Oregon, backed off of his pledge. I think it was actually after National Signing Day in the early signing period when he switched his, I guess, commitment, because, it's in the signing period, but ended up signing with OU. Peyton said he didn't want to go through that when I met with him earlier this spring, and he lived true to that, made his decision basically right before the kickoff of the 2023 season. And what Oklahoma's getting in this young man is a ball hawk. He has a nose for the football. Extremely intelligent, great football instincts, tremendous speed, always making big plays. Like, this is not the guy like in a big game. You do not want to put the ball in his vicinity, because he will find his way to get his hands on it, or even worse, force a fumble, recover a fumble, or grab an interception. He's outstanding, and he's super quick and athletic. Change of direction, above average intelligence. It's like he's got a playbook in his head.
He's a star, most certainly, and he was a guy that was a star on a fully loaded Geyer team last year, and now he kind of steps up and becomes, in many respects, like the main event, the main attraction there at Geyer, as the now Oklahoma commit Eli Bowen, the cornerback from Denton Geyer. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Let's roll on to our Recruit of the Week. Our Recruit of the Week, going down to Houston and talk about the number 1 quarterback in the class of 2024 in the state of Texas, DJ Lagway. He was mixing it up. Get it, DJ? In their win over Brian Rutter. 21-23, 436 yards, and 8 touchdowns in the, let me check my notes here, first half of their win over Brian Rutter. Now, Willis is a lot better than Brian Rutter. I want to be very clear about that. But I don't care who you're playing. If you go 21-23 for 436 yards and 8 touchdowns in 24 minutes of football, you're pretty good.
Let me get my calculator out here, and just 38% of his pass completions were touchdowns.
Yes.
Seems good.
That's okay, right? Like, that's pretty good.
Good.
Lagway out of the gate strong. He's been a wire-to-wire top 10 prospect in the class of 2024, checking in at number 7. Currently, the number 1 rated quarterback in the 2024 DCTF Rising Hot 100. He threw for 24 touchdowns last season. He's out of the gate with 8 already. I think he's going to blow those numbers away this year. I like what everybody knows that DJ Lagway is a tremendous athlete.
Yes.
Right? Like, we know that he can pull the ball down and run whenever you need him to. He can run around you. He can run over you. He can run through you. But I think it's really impressive to see what he did passing the football this week. Really good completion percentage, highly productive. And there was some cool things that stuck out to me on this, one game highlight reel. As it's a one game highlight reel that you're watching here. He's improvisational with his passes. He will flick the ball out there when he needs to. When the guy comes open, he has the arm power to throw it off of his back foot, dropping, balls in over the middle of the field. Just does whatever it takes to complete the pass and make a big play. And he's committed to Florida, so he's going to be going to the SEC where he's going to be under some pressure, right, consistently. And you like to see how guys, especially you like to see how top quarterbacks deal with pressure. And I think Lagway's a guy who doesn't panic. He always stays calm and cool in the pocket. And he has the correct attitude to be a top-tier recruit.
So I want to ask you about that because he's been committed to Florida for what feels like time immemorial.
Yeah.
Like, he's been there forever. And he's a guy that I remember when he committed, you talked about how Florida had made him basically their number 1 priority. Like, he was the guy's like, nope, this is our quarterback. We're going to go full bore after him. That doesn't mean that his phone has stopped ringing, right?
Right.
Like, certainly a lot of other programs. He's the number 1 quarterback in the number 1 state in the union. So I don't know if you have any sort of inside information. I'm not asking you for that, but this is a guy who certainly is going to be. He's going to have to. Florida's got to defend this commitment until signing day, right? This is a guy that everyone's going to be after.
Yeah, he has been pretty solid with Florida. There hasn't been a lot of buzz like of other colleges coming in and trying to. I mean, I'm sure they're trying to woo him away, but he stands pretty firm with his commitment to Florida. Like I said earlier, I look at these big colleges now, and you have to factor in NIL money, whenever you're talking about them. They're going to be able to set aside big NIL money for, depending on which school it is, for 2 or 3 guys in every recruiting class. And in our new age of recruiting, something to keep an eye on as we go through these changes is how does that work out with each prospect, and are there going to be less flips because you're tied in or you're locked in already. It's not a contract, but
there's an incentive structure.
Yeah. There's money wrapped around it now. Will we see less shaking and baking heading up to the home stretch before national signing? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to be a little bit more concrete. We'll see. This will be like, I think this is the first real big year that this NIL money is going to be a factor with these top recruits, and how does that affect how they think about things? Always there's going to be a couple guys that pop loose because better offers are going to come in, but I think there's some structure around what's going on now, and colleges and departments within colleges have had a year to assess it and put their hands around it. So I think it's going to be more structured.
DJ Lagway, the star quarterback at Willis. Willis takes on Temple this week, which you can watch live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live, including, I believe we may even have a drop into it every once in a while on Texas Football Tonight on Friday night. Maybe so. Tune into WTF tomorrow to find out for sure. But speaking of Texan Live, let's round things out with our underclassmen of the week, where we go to Greg Powers in a weird. It's weird to throw to Greg Powers when you're sitting right here. We go to Greg Powers for our Dave Campbell's Texan Live Spotlight.
DeCorian Moore is Dave Campbell's Texan Live Spotlight Underclassmen of the Week. Duncanville's class of 2025 wide receiver balled out in Game 1 on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. The 2025 five-star talent, who's already committed to the LSU Tigers, showed us why he's a force to be reckoned with. In a stunning performance, Moore tallied a remarkable 281 receiving yards and found the end zone 3 times leading Duncanville to a dominant 34-13 victory over South Oak Cliff. Moore's impressive season opener accounts for 36.7% of his total yardage production from last season and 50% of his touchdown production, a year ending with a 6A Division I state championship win. At 5'11", 185 pounds, Moore is rated as the #1 prospect in the 2025 DCTF Rising Hot 100. And those watching these highlights may envision a young Garrett Wilson, who also started Texas high school football before going on to the NFL to play for the New York Jets. Sky's the limit for this young rising star who is taking the Texas high school football world by storm.
Corey Moore, underclassman of the week. Here's a hot take about Corey Moore. Pretty good.
You're really going out on the limb there.
I'm going to say he is among the top 10 wide receivers in the class of 2025 named DeCorian.
I dropped it, when we were just talking about him. I love the comparison to Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Yeah, very similar skill set to me. I wanted to say that DeCorian was faster, but that's hard to say because Garrett Wilson ran a 4.38 at the NFL Combine, but he was like a 4.6 guy coming out of Lake Travis.
Here's the thing, and I think there's only one other receiver that I described like this, and he's in the class 2024, Draylon Miller. He's very smooth.
Yeah.
Everything he does feels very smooth and very fluid, and like what you saw against South Oak Cliff, which I know they're reloading in the secondary, but I don't care. Like, that's still South Oak Cliff talent out there and South Oak Cliff coaching, and to look like that in week 1 was shocking.
Duncanville having the ability to spread teams out vertically.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Problematic.
Because they were really good on offense. I think speed is what changed their offense last year with Caden Durham, DeCorian Moore. I think that really did change. Like, they weren't just a thumping, hard-hitting, run-up-the-middle type of offense all the time last year. They had some diversity. This year, I think they're going to put up monster stats.
It's going to be fun to watch. One person who's always fun to watch is Greg Powers, our director of recruiting at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Pickles over there nodding and agreeing.
Correct.
Follow him on Twitter, GPowersScout. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Stick around, though, because I need you to introduce you talking to a large man.
Sounds good. I'll be here.
We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, Greg Powers comes face-to-face with a 6'8", 380-pound offensive lineman. But first, a word from these goods and services.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose, come on. Get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Powers, you went out to Allen to watch DeSoto's win over the Eagles. That's not
Eagles
helpful.
over Eagles.
That's not helpful because DeSoto is also the Eagles. But you went out there to watch DeSoto's win over Allen, and you caught up with one of the most eye-popping players on the DeSoto sideline.
I think he's the largest recruit that I've ever interviewed.
Yeah,
in
you
my,
look tiny next to him.
What is this? Is not my 19th year of recruiting coverage.
It's a large boy.
6'8", 380-pound DeSoto offensive lineman Byron Washington. He already has a few offers from schools like Texas, TCU, Oregon, and Arizona State. They call him Big Baby. So hear what Big Baby has to say in this exclusive interview with Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Can't say any better. Let's go to the clip.
Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and I'm joined by the big man, Byron Washington, out here playing left tackle for the DeSoto Eagles, walking out of Allen Stadium with a 39-7 win, protecting your quarterback's blind side. How was game one? How do you think you stacked up playing out there on the edge?
I feel like I did pretty good, especially going against a high-level guy in their edge, number 9.
Yeah.
You know, he's a top edge. I feel like I held pretty good. First game at left tackle, I have a lot of stuff to improve on in run game and just physicality-wise, but in pass pro, I feel like I've definitely excelled in that.
Give yourself a grade. Your job is to keep your quarterback clean, right? Quarterback stayed pretty clean.
Yes, sir. White as ever. I feel like I did pretty good, yeah. We're going to just continue to grow and run game, keep our running back safe. You know, he went down, but he's good. We're going to continue to protect DJ, and that's the goal for the season.
Kind of talk about playing next to Snacks McLean, a guy who played left tackle last season. Now you're getting to play right next to him. He's committed to Houston. I know he's probably a good role model for you, a good leader.
For sure. He just takes the thinking out of him and Leon, all of our seniors that were starters last season, they developed me into the better player, and just thinking-wise, my IQ is going up a lot. And McLean, he's just straight dog. He thinks, he's smart, he can move. He tells me just everything about him.
I have to admit, man, I've watched you at a bunch of camps. I've watched you out at practice. Your game has steadily improved week by week by week. What have you been doing, like, to get quicker feet, get better conditioning? I mean, like, you came out ready to play, game one today.
It's hot, too. Yeah. Summer, I had 3 days, just different workout, school workout, flexibility and strength, and then later on a yoga session. So just doing that, and just, I mean, we're the state champs. We knew that we had a big target on our back, so conditioning was a little different. We looked at it as a different way as we preparing for someone to try to come take this state title. So as defending state champs, when we ran with that, we got way better in shape.
Good opportunities coming your way. You already got 4 P5 scholarship offers coming in from TCU, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Oregon. What's it like just to be known as like a top recruit now?
I'm definitely still going to stay humble. It's very fun, just the recruiting process itself. We have a lot of fun getting mail sent, everybody else. Just us having a lot of D1 guys on our team, it's just we all have fun together knowing that we all getting mail and all getting recruited.
Who was that first P5 offer, and what did it mean to you and your family when that day came around? Was that like a steak dinner type of night?
Definitely. We went out, had a good night. Oregon, Coach Locke, the running back coach, he seen me at a camp, SMU camp. I feel like I did pretty good. Well, I know I did pretty good. So I was walking out. They came and talked to me, and it was just, yeah, it was a good night.
TCU and Texas Tech, I got to ask you about the in-state schools. What do you like about each of those programs? Do they have a shot to possibly reel you in? I mean, it's so early. Got 2 years of high school ball left. Can't put favorites on anybody or anything. But they're in-state schools playing, SEC and Big 12 ball.
Yeah. The first word by itself, self-explanatory, Texas. Me moving in from Louisiana to Texas, my game is just a different type of game. Here, I feel like DeSoto, this is the SEC of high school football. So if you can come out here and dominate, you're definitely prepared for the next level.
Byron Washington, big man out here at DeSoto High School. You heard it from the man himself right there, making me look small on the film. Good luck with your junior season, and, of course, as you guys hunt back-to-back state titles.
Byron Washington. Did the camera fall?
The camera
That
fell.
was no.
The camera fell at the very, very end of the interview.
So good.
You're supposed to say that was your creative freedom, your creative decision.
I was just trying to give you guys like the full view of how big Byron Washington
was.
really was. It was like the top to bottom.
This is always very important. How tall are you?
I'm 5'10" and a half.
You're 5'10" and a half. You are not some small fry. You are not like some like little bitty guy walking around. You are of average to above average height.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, I guess, yeah.
and that just gives you.
I wish we could have had Mallory interview him.
Oh my god.
Because she's like 5'3" on a good day.
Yeah, that would have been fun because I saw her interview with Leonard Davis.
Yes.
It was pretty fun.
It was great.
And we were talking about who was bigger, and I was like, Byron Washington's bigger than Leonard Davis.
He's a
Yeah,
big
that's insane.
great interview too. It was a great interview.
Well-spoken young man. DeSoto does a really great job. Credit to our friend Kerry Sweeney over there, Claude Mathis, the head coach. They do a really good job of getting their players ready to get interviewed by media, specifically recruiting media, because they have a lot of top recruits all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And they just do a tremendous job of prepping those guys up, what to say, what not to say, and how to deal with, I'm going to guess that was his first, like, big on-camera interview, and he killed it.
What was your impression of DeSoto? I mean, I know, like, the scoreline's impressive, 39-7. It's the second biggest win for a visiting team over Allen at Eagle Stadium, biggest in-state win. But what was your impression of DeSoto?
I thought that the biggest question mark heading into the game was how would they replace the production of, Jonte Cook II, Trey Wisner, Cedric Harden, Dalen Jones. They had a lot of big-time offensive guys move on. Dalen Singleton wasted little time. He's a 2025 four-star receiver. He caught 2 touchdown passes in the game, including, I think they were the first 2 scores of the game. He's going to be trouble. He's in the Jonte Cook vein. He's about 5'10", 5'11", 170 pounds, super quick and speedy, knows how to get open. And then Ethan Boobie Feaster,
I was going to ask you about
class
him.
of 2027 phenom, made his debut. Now, he didn't make a huge impact as far as stats were concerned. He only got his hands on 2 passes, I think, for 16 yards. But what impressed me the most was, and Coach Mathis said this after the game, he's never had a freshman receiver in his program before. Because at DeSoto, at receiver, you have to wait your turn, right? Like Jonte Cook had to wait his turn. There's usually upperclassmen, and there's still upperclassmen on that team, and he thinks that Feaster has a chance to be the best one that he's ever coached. But what impressed me about Feaster was on the game's opening kickoff, he sealed a block, showed that he was going to be physical. They went to him on the game's very first play. He converted the game's first third down. For a freshman, he impressed with his physicality and, to me, his football intelligence.
Well, and obviously that shows those 2 things there tell me, as somebody who wasn't at the game, that tells me that as a freshman, Coach Mathis and his staff trust him in big spots and be like, nope, okay, like you're a part of the team and you are fully, you're fully bought into it.
They made a 50-yard field goal in the game. A couple of long field goals for DeSoto is always good, especially for playoff times. Go ahead, Pickle. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, no, you're good. I was going to say, to me, that just shows that maybe I guarantee you they did that on purpose to prove to him that they trust him as a freshman.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, those were the question marks. They got Brandon Booker back on defense. I would say Jaden Milner-Jones was probably the defensive leader on that team last year. Brandon Booker will be the heart and soul of the defense this year. Defensive front is pretty solid, led by state defensive MVP Jason Douglas. He's back, for another run for his senior year. So I think they're going to be really solid, and I think you got to put them right there in that mix of the, one of the top 2 or 3 teams in 6A. They're the reigning and defending 6A Division II state champs, and I think they're going to make another run at it.
And one of the reasons is their big offensive lineman, Byron Washington, just a junior. We appreciate his time. Coming up here in just a moment, an explosive edition of Final Thoughts, but first, a word from our friends at First National Bank of Omaha. Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with First National Bank of Omaha to present the Dave Campbell's Impactful Leadership Award presented by FNBO. The weekly award will recognize 10 influential Texas high school football athletes who are leaders both on and off the playing field. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Dave Campbell's Impactful Leadership Award presented by First National Bank of Omaha. To read more about what makes this week's recipient such a great leader, visit texasfootball.com. Let's go to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
Coming up wherever you're watching this show at 2 today, Republic of Football. Our Dave Campbell's Republic of Football is live at 2 with Mallory Hartley, Carter Yates, and Ishmael Johnson. I believe they're going through the college writers poll that was in the magazine, but the new staff that was not included, which Mallory's not new staff, but her and Carter, I think, are giving their answers. So tune into that at 2.
And a full preview. I believe Mike Craven's going to join them on
nice.
the phone.
Over the phone.
And they'll have a full preview of the first full week of college football across the state of Texas. And it should be a lot of fun. And also, speaking of Mike Craven, I can tell you guys that for Friday, if you are somebody who likes to invest your funds in certain places, let's get some financial advice from Mike Craven coming up on Friday, if you know what I mean. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks to Byron Washington of DeSoto and Grant Freeman of Wichita Falls High School and Wichita Falls ISD for being our guest. For Greg Powers and Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please meet your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.